I got it, the dealership where I bought it, the guy tried telling me it was a Yenko, and I didn't even know what a Yenko was back then.
That's cool. And then back here is more of your cool cars, more first gens. And this one actually has a really interesting personal history lesson, because you can see there's a dent here. And let's see, make sure I don't fall in. And it's wrecked on this side because this was your, not high school, but this was your car. Like you drove this car. And
I bought the car in, I'm going to say 72. When I got it, the dealership where I bought it, the guy tried telling me it was a Yenko, and I didn't even know what a Yenko was back then. But it is a factory 396, 400 turbo, 12 bolt rear end, disc brakes. It's pretty much cheap. It has a 4-shift automatic with a console. It's about the only real option. It has like full tint glass. I had it. I drove it for a while. Then I had new quarter panels, complete paint, new vinyl top. The third time the 396 had been redone because I kept driving it like it was a small block car, and they would take that. I had everything done, fresh motor in it. I didn't have it put away for the winter. I had it parked in my folks' driveway. Some young guy come around the corner, clipped my folks' mailbox, drove my sister's gold 67 Impala hardtop with a 327 into this side of it, caved that in. There was a large utility pole on the other side, shoved it over and shoved it into the utility pole. Junk. 78, I got $1,800 and got to keep the car.
Well, that's a plus, I guess, for a bad situation.
Best they would do.
Yeah.
I sold the front end off of it shortly after it got wrecked to a body shop, and they put it on that car that was basically 40-45 miles away from where I live.
I'll show that in a minute.
Young guy I knew was his older brother's body shop. He knew I had this car and it was wrecked. He came to me and, hey, my brother needs a front clip for a 67 and it's even white. So I sold him the front end. A few years later, this car shows up wrecked. The guy that the towing company wanted the motor out of it. He took the motor, he sold me the rest of the car. I brought it home. It sat in my yard for quite a while until one day I was going to take the headlight bezels out of it, and I noticed some holes that had been drilled on the inside of it, and I put special bolts in the holes to fill them when the car was mine. I noticed the inner fender had these special bolts in it, so it was the front end off of this car.
Wow.
So I took the front end off and set it back on this car and sold the front stub out of that car to somebody.
I gotcha.
I don't know who, but it's gone now.
But this thing is in rough shape, unfortunately. But I mean, the steering wheels there.
Big block automatic. They only made supposedly 1,450 367, 396, 400 turbo automatic cars.
Yeah. That is pretty sad. But at least, I mean, it's like, it's your car. You have been able to keep it. That is really neat. And then, these weren't anything special from what you were telling me earlier. They're just Camaro.
Other than the blue one. The blue one was the 67 Rally Sport.
Okay, that's, yeah.
It was sold new at a dealership in Belmont. There's no Chevy dealership there anymore. The dealership in Platteville bought them out. But I know the guy that owned the car new.
Really?
He traded that in to buy a 70 big block Chevelle, and he still has the car restored really, really nice.
That's cool. We're going to walk over there if we don't die.
The T-Porter Rally Sport, the only trick part of it was that it has the clock on the floor, and the clock's still in it.
Oh, that's neat. See if I can get that.
Well, it's all because of the coon tearing the interior up.
Well, now you got cats. You won't have any coon problems, right?
No. cats I like, coons not so much.
Well, as I'm saying, the cats will keep the coons out of here. Hopefully. And if you can see the original interior, unlike this one, which has no interior.
This is kind of cool too.
Oh, I see. It's a green car.
First Camaro I had, probably 71 or early 72, was rally green, black vinyl top, 68, 327 Saginaw 4-speed. Wasn't a super sport, but it was a 327 4-speed car.
Okay.
I had it about a month and I blew the motor up in it. My dad asked me why that car was sitting. I told him we had carburetor parts ordered for it. In the meantime, we pulled the motor out. A friend of mine that was in tech school had a 62 300 horse 327 that was completely rebuilt. I bought the motor. Before we went to put the motor in, it's got to have a big cam. At that time, there wasn't an easy place around here to get hot rod parts.
Okay.
I went to the Chevy dealership. I knew the parts guy. Told him I wanted a big cam. Oh, have I got a deal for you.
Oh boy.
This guy that worked at the dealership had a beautiful orange 56 Chevy, and he was always building hot rods. Terry ordered this 62 365 horse fuelie cam and solid lifter package, and now he don't want it. He'll give you a deal on it. Bought the cam and lifter package, put it in the 327, put it in the car. I did not have the money for aluminum intake or Holley carburetor, so it had a 300 horse 327 with a Ford Auto light off of a 429 Mercury on it.
Oh, jeez.
Ford Auto lights are dual float. They're somewhat similar to a Holley. The car was bad news with this solid lifter cam. It didn't want to run under about 2,000 RPMs or whatever. The girlfriend lived in Madison. You had to drive it like you had a grudge against it in Madison, and otherwise it'd follow plugs and whatever. But from about 2,500 to 3 to 6,500 and climbing, it would really rev.
That's pretty cool.
It's 50 miles from Madison to home. People will tell you nowadays that they can come down from Madison to Darlington on 151 in an hour. Try it from Franklin Street on the east side of the square to set in my folks' driveway and stop to pee on the way home and still make it in 55 minutes.
Oh, jeez. And that was this car that you did it all in?
No. This is just a rally green one.
Oh, this is... It was really sad to see a car that Todd had a history with, and so sadly. I mean, the car definitely, you can see, was twisted pretty much like a pretzel. But it still had a lot of good parts on it, so while it is a 396, automatic car, who knows? Everything is available for it, so it might come back someday. Maybe with Todd, maybe with someone else, because he does actually work on them. I just didn't show them because it's not what I do. But these are just a few extra ones that he had on the property for parts. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. Another one from Todd's yard. Definitely really neat to see, especially all those Camaros. And I think there's only one more Camaro left. There's 3 more videos, maybe 4. And then I got something special planned for the end, but we're getting near the end. You can see as I'm moving my way through the yard in the video, which is really cool. And Todd's really excited to see the response to the cars. If you have any comments or questions, of course, leave them in the comments below. And of course, on all my social media, I'm more than happy to talk to people. I've been busy this week, to say the least, and haven't had a chance to work on the green car or the blue car. But I do have something rather exciting coming up for the blue car. I'm actually going to do a whole video on it because it's about to hit 250,000 miles on my way to Mo Party, which is Holly Mo Party in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'll be there next week, so come and say hi. If you have any comments, you can make them in person. But I'll give you a little sneak peek real quick. Let me just... Most people don't know that Halabrand Wheels is owned by Holly now. And I talked with them, and they have something very special that they've sent me for the blue car. And next week I'll have it installed, and they will be on the car at Mo Party. So I'll keep you guys posted. Stay safe. Talk to you all soon.